Good afternoon, beautiful people. Yeah, it gets wilder and wilder, doesn't it? Every time I speak to you. I've just been for a run. That's what happens when you get back. It's 26 degrees here in Bolton today. It's beautiful. But that's what you get. That's what you look like when you get back from a run in 26 degree heat. That's what your hair looks like. Well, that's what my fucking hair looks like. Anyway, good afternoon, people. On this beautiful, beautiful planet, we get to go home for such a short period of time. Everything is thought. Every decision you'll make will come from thought. And thoughts aren't real. Thoughts are dictating every response you'll have in every moment. And every response you'll have in every moment is past conditioning, past programming. What somebody has told you, how somebody has behaved in the past and you've developed them behaviours. How somebody has interacted with somebody, you'll then adopt them behaviours through parents, through friends, through family, through people you've been around. Maybe some of you was around 10 minutes ago. That would influence how you behaved in the next interaction. So if it was shit, and you had a really bad interaction with somebody, then that would manifest into the next interaction you'd have with somebody. Where is all that coming from? Where is the only place that can come from? Thought. There is nothing else happening. Everything comes from that initial thought. That initial thought pops in, which is a past circumstance, past conditioning, past programming, pops in. And then you have a thought and a thought and a thought and a thought. And none of it is real. Whereas what we should be doing is not listening to those thoughts. We should be living in the moment. Perfect. Aliveness. Love. No judgment. There can't be. Without thought, there's just the perfect present moment. Without any past conditioning. That's all thought is. It's just programming thoughts. All thoughts are programs that just keep coming up. They're just programs that keep coming up in different situations. You're programmed to behave like that in that situation. You're programmed to behave like that in that situation. You're programmed to behave like that in that situation. You're programmed to behave like that in that interaction. It's just programming. It's just the years and years of thoughts that you've had that have now programmed you into this entity. None of it is real. Just all made up from past circumstances, past events. Whereas the aliveness, the true present moment, is right here, right now, without thought. Somebody was to come through that door, if I've got no thought there, no matter who it is, I could have had an interaction with that person 10 minutes ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, it doesn't matter. If there's no thought about any previous experiences I've had with that person, because thoughts are bollocks, thoughts just appear out of nowhere, it's just programming, it's just thought after thought after thought after thought, it's just making up out of nowhere. So if that somebody was to come through that door, and I had all thoughts going through my head, it'd all be past programming, wouldn't it? It'd all be past situations that have happened with that person. That moment couldn't be alive. That moment couldn't be real. That moment couldn't be true. I'm reacting with the past. I'm reacting with my past conditioning, my past thoughts, my ego. If that somebody was to come through that door and I had no thought, the moment to be alive. They'd be full of life in that moment. There'd be no thoughts about the past. There'd be no conditioning. There'd be no programming there of what happened last time, this happened this time, this happened this time, that time, that time. That's all generated through thought, which isn't real. Thoughts just appear out of nowhere. I hope people are starting to get this now. We're drilling this home, aren't we? It's fantastic though. Once you get it, there's no suffering. Suffering ends. And I want everybody on this channel or anyone that hears this message not to suffer. I don't want you to suffer. If you can come to this realization at 15 years old, at 20 years old, whenever it might be, but the younger you can come to it, the better, isn't it? The more alive your life is going to be. You're not going to be stuck with programming. You're not going to be stuck with thoughts, mind, ego. It's bollocks. You're going to be true in that moment and alive in that moment. Listen, if you're going to uni and you're learning stuff, that's fantastic. That's your soul's journey. If you feel alive in that moment and your body wants to do that, that's the non-doership of us. That's the side of us that is meant to be doing that. Go and learn. Go and experience what you've got to experience. Learn that stuff. Get that stuff. That's the analytical mind. That's the mind that Einstein used and all these, whoever it is, all these with really high IQs and stuff. Take your mind up to the moon. Think about the moon. Think about the craters in the moon. Think about it shining bright at night. Who's doing that? You're doing that. That's your analytical mind. That's the mind that you want to be using to do that kind of work. After you've done that kind of work and you've learnt all that stuff, and then you go and sit at home, or you go into an interaction out in the world, or whatever it might be, and then the mind that's just going over and over and over and over bollocks, nothingness, that's your emotional mind. That's your ego. Their thoughts, that's mine. Thought, mind, ego. That is the mind that you do not want to listen to. It's no use. Just generates shit. There's two different parts of the mind. Analytical mind, use it to learn stuff like this, learn spirituality, whatever it might be. Learn your work at school. It's the other part of the mind that just runs fucking wild. The mind that judges people, the mind that worries, the mind that's got anxiety, the mind that's got depression, the mind that's got fear, the mind that's got worry. That's your emotional mind. That's your ego. That's your thoughts. Bollocks. None of it means anything. They're the thoughts that just pop in out of nowhere. Pop in and then we listen to them and go down that rabbit holes into absolute nothingness. That's the mind that we want to be shutting off in every moment. And when you do that, when you know how both minds work, got your analytical mind to learn, then you've got your other mind that if you can shut that other side of your mind off, your emotion, your ego, thought, mind, ego, the ones that pop in, you shut that off, no mind. Stillness, quietness. You know you've got two sets. I'm not learning anything here. I want to still my mind. No need to keep going over stuff. I've no need to be judging. It's all bollocks. It's just appearing. What's there in that moment? What's there in that? Just do it with me for a minute. Still the mind. No thought. No mind. Shh. Quiet the mind. Empty. Still. No mind. Hold that center.